Hi, Sean Huckster here. Welcome to Magical Little Worlds with me. Today I'm going to do two more of the hidden hideouts Polly Pocket sets. There are 8 of these in total that I'm aware of. I've already reviewed 4. This will be 2 more, and I have 1 more incoming, and I still have 1 to find. We'll keep you a little bit in the dark about which ones those are. But I find this is great. This was clearanced at Walmart from $9.97 down to $2.50. Did I get that deal? No, I did not. Did I pay more than $9.97? I did. Plus shipping? That's true. Why? Because I'm obsessed. All right, let's get... So these are the wider packaging. There's another set. Some of my sets came in a taller package with less, and the Polly Pocket figure was actually inside the set. But for these are also multilingual sets, which I think is one of the reasons they're different. The other ones I had were mostly English, I think. See, here's one that's mostly just English, but this one has multiple languages. And that happens a lot. I'm from Canada, where, you know, everything has both French and English packaging, so it's not unusual for me to see multiple languages on packaging. So, what do we have? We have 2 sets, and I'm going to review them in the order of Little Princess Pad. I'm going to save my favorite for last, which is going to be the Unicorn Utopia. So what we have in the back is there's a little thing you can spin. This is a polystick set. So far, the ones I've seen, they do not polystick on the floor itself, like some of the smaller Locket compacts do, and some of the other sets do. But there are stickers, of course, that you can place anywhere, so the polysticks work fine. And then there's a little indicator over here of some of the sets you can get other than that, and I think I've reviewed just this one, and these are the 2 that I'm still, well, that's one of the ones I'm looking for now. All right, let's get to it, shall we? So again, I will say that it's unusual to sell a thing which shows only half of what you're buying, because up here you got 3 little secret compartments. What's in them? Whoever's buying this does not know. So that's kind of brave. But, you know, it is the world of the blind box, and I'm sure kids still think it's amazing, and they just have an expectation that whatever's in there is going to be worth it. And at the price point we're talking about, originally like $9, $10, yeah, how can you be not worth it? All right, let's open it up. And let's put Unicorn Utopia aside, and let's open Little Princess Pad. What do we do with packaging? That's right. And we have more packaging. More packaging. And more packaging, but wait. Unlike some of these, Polly is part of the package, so you don't want to throw that packaging away quite yet. You want to pull the compact out, and there's instructions, which we'll talk about in a minute. And, right, so what we have is Polly, or Lila, Lila, that's right, and she is wearing a pearl necklace and a bow around her waist in a little pink boots and skirt. And let's put her aside. Oh, by the way, I cut myself 3D printing, cleaning up 3D printing with chisels. It's very sharp work. All right, let's put her aside and open up the compact. Now, one of the reasons I love these compacts is they harken back to the vintage compacts. I mean, profile-wise, they're practically identical. Now, these I've noticed in the past are a bit fatter. And I've often commented that the colors, which are beautiful pastels in the original Polly Pockets, are more garish in the modern sets. There's another Polly Pocket one, you know, very pastel. I'm so in love with this color scheme. And I raised my daughter on Polly Pockets, so, you know, this is kind of nostalgic to me. And so let's put these aside. One of the reasons I love this whole set, and I'm determined to get all 8, is because of the nostalgic size and shape and feel of these sets compared to some of the more modern sets, which, you know, are often like a big owl or a big teddy bear. You know, they can be anything, and they're much bigger. And that doesn't mean they're bad, because there's a lot of action inside, a lot of things you can do with them. These I just like because they are the original format. Let's open up the set and see what we have. So the first thing we see is the bottom. Oh, we have the poly stick, so let's put that aside. That could come in handy, because none of this floor, as far as I'm aware, this is cardboard. So this is definitely not poly stick. Like if you were trying to place Polly in here and try to have her poly stick, nothing doing, pal, nothing doing. She's gonna, I mean, she'll just stick there generally because she's silicone, but no, she's not poly stick. This is not poly stick. That's what the stickers are for. So let's put her here, and I could place her on a poly sticker, and you will see that, yeah, She ain't moving anywhere. Okay, so what do we have inside? We've got this, oh, this is very nice. We've got this whole hedge over here. And it's, it looks to be like a, I want to call it like a holly bush, but it's probably not. But it's a bush with pink flowers, which I like it. Maybe it's azalea or rhododendron, I don't know. And what we have is definitely like a balcony area with a pool and, or a balcony rail, or a patio rail. This is patio stones. I love it. There's a stairway going up to the patio. They were definitely outdoors, even though like we have tile floor, but we have a carpet here for some reason. And then looks like a row of 3 benches that people could sit on. Now, when I grew up, in the back corner of our garden, there was a wooden bench that my grandfather had built, which was very much like this. This was more of a couch section with 2 people could sit, and then there was like a little chair section right here. And this kind of brings back memories. There was another Polly Pocket set that had a similar thing, but it was very much like my grandfather's bench in that it was a couch with 1 little seat here. And that brings back so many memories. I have photographs of me with my grandfather and my cousin sitting there. I have many cousins, but this particular cousin, we were sitting there with my grandfather, and I still have that photo, and it's on my wall. I love it. And over here, what we have, this is definitely a fountain, because this is like little sprays of water here. And what's on the fountain? I'm not sure if that's a turtle. It's hard to tell. There's not much shape to it. It could even be a bird. I can't tell. But so this spins. The swans spin around, and I think you're intended to spin the fountain itself. But my fingers are a bit large and the beaks get in the way. All right, let's move on. So we have stairs leading up to the top section, which is, in my experience, some of the best parts of Polly Pocket sets are in the top section. And in the play set that I'm making myself, which is Sydney Swift shuts down the steam power punk, a lot of the action's in the upper part. That's not to say the bottom part's boring, because it isn't. What we have in all of these hidden hideout sets is 3 compartments. Each one has a little surprise inside, but also a play feature and a play area. So what I always do is I start with the smaller ones, and then I open the big one last, hoping for a big surprise. So let's see what we've got. Let's open up. Now, you know what? I don't know. This is very advent calendar-like, so there's a little tab. And yeah, I fought so much. Some of these tabs aren't as easy to get at, so I usually bring my knife. And you can pull the cardboard away and get the corner. And yeah, this is actually kind of cool right now already. Let's get that cardboard out of the way, guys. Gently with a knife, because this is a sharp knife. All right. So what we have here is a bathtub with a pony. And I'm thinking, is it a unicorn? But then I realized, no, the unicorn set's up here. Let's see what we have. Let's pull them out. We have a pony here. A lot of Polly sets in the modern era do ponies with unicorn horns, so they're actually unicorn ponies or unicorns. This looks like your standard pony, Shetland pony, and it has a saddle, which you can see etched in there. No paint except for the eyes, but there it is. And I mean, do you bathe your pony? Because this is a bathtub and a bathroom. And I have to say, some of these little compartments have no movable features or play features. This one does, and I'm kind of happy with that. Let's see if I can't get that cardboard out of there. You know what? Not important. We'll move on. So this is a bubble bath, because this is blue translucent plastic. And I'm sure this is meant for Polly, who I've stuck to the Polly stick. So let's get her off of there. And let's put Polly in the bathtub so she can have her bubble bath. Fully clothed bubble bath, and she kind of fits in there, maybe, if you push. Yeah, I guess, maybe. I'm thinking that this bathtub was designed for, or is better suited for, the Pollys that have the folding or bending legs, and not these silicone rubber ones. Moving on, because I do like that bathtub, actually. I kind of think that's cool. We're going to open up the castle section here, which is... hope for something cool. Okay, so the prize in this one is a cape, and it's a sheer translucent cape, which I kind of like. I've seen this cape in the Arctic set as well, in the Frosty Fairy Tale, but it was a solid color, and it snaps onto her neck like so. And now she's wearing a cape like Elsa from Frozen. And as this is a little princess pad, maybe she's a magical one. Maybe she can control the weather. I don't know. Let's see. Let it go. Let it go, man. Let it go. All right. What do we have up here, though? So definitely it's a princess pad, because let's get this out of here. The bubble bath is meant to pamper the princess, I'm sure. And then we have the throne. And what we have here is a little tuffet of some sort. So yeah, this is definitely like a tuffet that you would sit some sort of like trophy or a prize on. Maybe a kitten will sit up there, I don't know. But definitely a pony is not going to sit on that tuffet. So I don't know what the deal is there, but it's pretty good. No interaction. So usually there's some motion in one of these. There's a place with no motion whatsoever. And then this is usually like a bigger reveal with something cool. So let's see what this is all about. Take that away. And pull. Ah, we have a whole castle down here. Or at least the ground floor of a castle. I guess this is the upper portion of the castle. This is your ground floor with your double doors. Neat. So, let's open them up because you know the surprise, whatever it is inside there because it's not anywhere else. What you got is these molded turquoise or teal roof caps from these towers. But this looks like, yeah, so this is brick. So this is the main floor and these are 2 guard towers, looks like. All right, time to open these up. And the doors, a little flimsy. Open up to reveal, I figured, like other sets, a little crown. There was a review previously of more cuts from 3D printing. There's the Dino set. The Dino Discovery set had a little bone headband that would not fit. And this one is supposed to be a crown. I don't know how that's going to fit either. The silicone hair doesn't help me. I guess that's all right. In a lot of these sets, one of the pieces is a headset. I think that's not the greatest use of a surprise, but whatever. And what do we have here? Well, we sort of have like that's a poly stick place. So that's kind of cool. That's a little poly sticker, certainly. And that one appears to be permanently in place. I wonder if she sticks there. I mean, maybe. You know, I think that's an indicator that you can put one there because I don't think it's actually a poly stick. It's just a rug. And inside you have a silhouetted, mysterious Prince Charming of some kind. Maybe he's coming to sweep you off your feet and take you away, or maybe he's your brother or your cousin and you don't really want anything to do with him. I don't know, but either way, he's kind of in the shadow in there. And that is the little princess pad. I'm going to close it up. I'm going to put Polly on the floor where I know she will fit. Her crown can go with her. And her pony, which we barely talked about, can go here. Closing that set, moving on. Moving on to what I hope is going to be a little bit more fun. Unicorn Utopia, I'm thinking, how could it not be? So what we have underneath, behind is, again, tells you it's polystick. There's a spin feature, as most of these have. And did Polly fall down? No, and I'll show you. I kind of had a sneak peek at this earlier. I see what's going on, and I will tell you about it as we open it. So, what do we have? Packaging. Oh, packaging. That's right. And more packaging. And more packaging. And then before we throw this one away, make sure we remove the Polly character. And you will know I call all the characters Polly because I don't really know any of them. I do know Lila. She's got red hair. The rest I don't know. I think this is Shani, actually. But again, I don't follow the show or the characters. I just like the toys. And more instructions. And we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll get to it. All right. Again, the compact is very much reminiscent of the originals, which I adore. And we have Shani here, I think. And let's open it up. So we have the same bow. This is the same bow. I think this is very exact same bow on everything. All of these bows are painted in a sort of a slightly pearlescent color. And then you have the symbol of the set on the front. And this is going to be stars. I don't know how that quite lines up with Unicorn Utopia, but let's find out. We open up the set and we have the polysticks. Because again, we know this is not polystick from past experience. So we put some polysticks here, which allows you to stick a polystick anywhere. And what do we have? We have a star in the middle that spins around what looks like a butterfly. And it's not a butterfly, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. Otherwise, we have pretty pastel sort of set, almost like original Polly Pocket coloration. We got the shooting star, which, wow, you see this in so many Polly Pocket sets. I still don't know why, but, you know, I'm not against it. It's just, I'd love to know why so many Polly Pocket sets have shooting stars. I have sets where the shooting stars are just pieces that you stick to the wall, and you've got several of them in one set. No idea. So then we have this overhead view of a park and maybe a town, because we get some houses here. And it is overview, and I'll explain. And these, I believe, are meant to be clouds and trees, because what do we have here? Yeah, there's a seat there built on the clouds, so you can sit in the clouds. Without going into more detail about that, there are always 3 compartments up here. Now, this was kind of a bit unusual, because usually these compartments are evenly divided down the quadrants. This one is pushed a little to the left. So we usually start with one of the smaller ones and move to the bigger ones. And since this, well, I usually start with the top one, but this is being the smallest, I'm going to start with this one. And again, like an advent calendar, you pull away the cardboard, you open the tab, and what do we have? Another plastic bag. Now, I reviewed one recently that had a plastic bag, and it's kind of difficult to get open. Let's hope not this one. And again, it looks like a headgear piece, so it's like a crown. And yet, none of the other crowns were in plastic bags that were tape, and you had to like find the tape and figure out where the tape was and then rip the tape. I'm just going to cut and reveal that this is indeed a princess crown. And what's on it? Oh, it's a unicorn, horn and ears. You know, it would have been cool if this was headphones, because you can get headphones that have that sort of accessory now, cat's ears or something like that. So then you got, let's put it on, why not, since we're here. Let's see if it fits, because these silicone hair pieces don't let... Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's of all of them so far, that one fits the best and easiest. And let's put her back. She's wearing, by the way, about almost looks like a tennis outfit. And she's got a little rainbow on her chest. All right, that's that one. Now, what's in behind? As often happens with these, you have a set that's non-interactive, then you have one that's interactive, and a larger one that has some interaction. This has no interaction. So this is... it's a bench with 2 seats, but it's a big, chubby, what looks like stuffed unicorn. You got the unicorn face there with horn, and what looks like a body of a stuffed animal, and that's meant to be the back of the couch. And I'm thinking, yeah, a lot of kids would like that. All right, we're moving on. We're going to go up to the top, and this is the second smallest. And we pull that out, and we'll get the little corner out there. And what did we end up with? The little surprise in here is... Oh, it's a tail. Okay, so the whole idea of this one is Polly and her princess in the unicorn Utopia can actually dress like a unicorn. There's her tail. Okay, I can dig that. All right, moving on. What do we got? So we have another spinner. Looks like that's a star. In here we have clouds and, again, shooting stars everywhere, man. And stars and rainbows, and this just spins. Much like the space set where there's a whole UFO down in the bottom, and the entire reason it's there is to spin a piece of cardboard. I think you can do better. And yet I'm not complaining. I still like this set. I like the purple mixed with the pink, and the sky blue is actually kind of a nice combination of colors. Less garish than some of the larger sets. And maybe because these compacts harken back to the originals, the intent is to look more like them. I don't know. I'm not complaining. It sounds like I am. Trust me, I'm not. I'm not. All right, let's get this open and reveal. Okay. All right. So the prize, or the little surprise, is a clear plastic unicorn with pink hair. Remember I was talking earlier about the pony. It's not a unicorn, but this one is. And this is very much like the unicorn stuffed animal from, like, I think it's from Despicable Me. She's so fluffy. And yeah, so you can see she got a little saddle on her back, and I imagine it's intended so that Polly can ride the unicorn. Pretty fun. You know, I like this. It's good. Let's put her down with Polly. So Polly can be a unicorn and ride a unicorn. So what do we have here? Okay, so it's like a tower. Almost like the last one, a castle tower, but it's definitely a tower. And what looks like a rising chair. So we got a chair made of, it looks like clouds, but I don't know if it's clouds or a tree. This definitely looks like it could be clouds. And it rises up to the top of the tower. And I imagine as Polly sits in there, let's get this cardboard out. Oh yeah, look at this. There's a whole big piece of cardboard left in there. All right, good riddance. And then I guess Polly can sit in there, although you're gonna have a hard time sitting her there with her tail. So let's remove her tail. Let's see what it looks like when she's in there. Let's take the tail out. pop her in place. The skirt, I think, again, this would be much better set if the Polly was not a silicone leg Polly, but actually had articulated legs, because she could snap and sit in there easily, because these chairs with the little brackets are definitely intended to fit regular Polly Pockets and not these silicone Polly stick ones. So yeah, a little bit of a strike against it there. But the really fun feature on this one, and is that's that spinner I alluded to earlier, and I said, is this a butterfly? It is not, because I'll show you what it is. Snap her tail on there, and then you can fit Polly in. You know what? She's not going to fit with the tail, because she clips into the same waist spot where the tail would go. And the whole idea is she has fairy wings. And the whole idea of this spinner, and the reason this is all top down, is that she's flying above the entire world, having a great time flying above the park. And that's this set. I'm going to put the unicorn back in, close it up. And that, my friends, let's have a quick look at the instructions. And I have the, forgot this is going in there as well. The instructions, as we saw in a previous one, these just basically show you what I just showed you, is you can place the Polly stick down. A lot of these instructions these days are just walls of words in many languages to warn you of every possible problem with this thing. And what we have is just basically tells you, hey, by the way, you can open these things. We know that. There's prizes in there. We know that. This spins. I can figure that out. This goes up and down. I can figure that out too. There's not a single thing in here that, see, they show that she could sit in there, but boy, you're going to have a hard time fitting it in. And then the back is just, yeah, guess what? You have a Polly Pocket Compact. Throw that with the packaging. Okay, and look, another one. It's been a long video for 2 pieces, but thanks for sticking with it. Again, there's 2 more of these I'm going to be doing a review of when they come in. I've got the butterfly one coming in, and I'm looking for the candy one. So when those are done, you will see a review, and I will review them, and that'll be the complete set. And then I'll probably bring them all out and show them as a unit, but really quickly. And that's it for me, Sean Huckster. Welcome to Magical Little Worlds. Please leave comments. Tell me where I'm wrong, tell me where I'm right, tell me where you disagree with me, but mostly tell me where you do agree with me. And we will see more reviews coming up. And believe me, there's a lot of reviews coming. I've got a lot of Mighty Max left to do. I've got a lot of random heads. I will say random, but off-brand heads that aren't Polly Pocket or Mighty Max, like Batman, Spider-Man, Tarzan, Reboot. So believe me, there's a lot more coming. Please enjoy. Have a great evening, or day, or morning. I'm out. See you later. Bye.